Welcome to FDT-TV podcast. This is week 15. Thank you for watching, everyone. Thanks for coming back and seeing us again. We've got the three amigos here. We have in claret and blue, we have Ian, and in yellow, representing not Watford but Arsenal, Mr. Michael.
Bonjour.
And myself in red, it's the Southern Scouser Phil. And we're here today. We're going to go over the last week's game. So we have West Ham, Sheffield United, happened on Friday. And then we have the game on Saturday with Arsenal taking on Crystal Palace. And then on Sunday we had Liverpool away at Tottenham.
Was that Saturday night?
I can't remember.
It was Saturday night. You are correct. I've lost a day somewhere along the lines.
Well, what I can say, you said Mike is a Watford fan.
Yeah.
A secret Watford fan. I went snowboarding last night and went past Watford's training ground, it looks like an inflatable tent, to be fair. But lights were on. This was 7 o'clock in the evening. Lights for everything were on. It was busy, and they were in there training. So
the first team, or was it like the second team? The
no,
it's 23s.
I would imagine first team. Looking at the brief glimpse at cars that you sort of see from the hill that we drove past.
Nice.
But yeah, so no wonder they have picked up form because they're training. And they're training bloody hard by the looks of it.
Well, Watford's training ground and Arsenal's training ground, I believe, aren't that far from each other.
There was no lights from the Arsenal one.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me.
I didn't see
They're
it.
all at home shopping.
Anyway.
Right, so we start off with the Friday game.
Yes.
Bit of controversy, but West Ham, you were away, weren't you, to Sheffield?
Yes. Yes, we was. Was that up at Bramall Lane, is it? I can't remember where it is. It's in Sheffield. No one's ever been. The only people go there is for football. No one's ever gone, you know where we should go for a day? Sheffield.
Well, for us, it's up north.
I don't know what's there apart from football. We've got Sheffield Wednesday, the better team, and Sheffield United. No. A few quick points. I won't go on for too long because I know I can get on my soapbox. We've lost our first team striker again. They've said he's going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks because of an inflamed hip around where he previously injured it, which is quite a concern.
Goalkeeper.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Goalkeeper.
Striker.
Did I?
Yeah.
My brain's not working today. Sorry, lads. We might as well have lost our first team striker. Antonio's out injured, I think. So we've lost him. We've tried to get in Darren Randolph, apparently, who is injured, so that we've cancelled that one. We've had a number of bids turned down for the Cardiff keeper, and his name has left my brain. Neil Etheridge. Phil Etheridge, whatever his name is. Niall Etheridge, I don't know. Etheridge. I know his surname is on the back of his shirt. So
Number one,
yeah. So we've had a number of bids turned down for that. So now we're left with David Martin, who arguably there's a bit of blame for both Balwainer and David Martin. I think it was a silly pass to play out, but Balwainer should have seen it coming and dealt with it, even if it's put it in Rowe's head. So we gifted Sheffield the goal. We have a VAR controversy yet again, which there has been a number of incidents, one arguably from Liverpool, one from Manchester United, one from Tottenham this season, all that are exactly the same, but has got ruled out, where the others were, I think, who else has got ruled out?
Liverpool.
Liverpool's did. Yeah. So it seems a little bit silly that they're. I get what they've done. The ball has hit his hand, yes, but he's at full sprint.
Yeah.
So arguably his hand is in a natural position, but I think the rule is now that any part of the body that you can't score a goal with is handball.
The thing is, though, with that, if it had not hit his hand, would the ball have gone further to the left?
I don't think
and
so.
And not stayed within his control, and then it wouldn't have happened.
No, I don't think so. I think it was just one of those unfortunate things. I think the ref didn't think anything of it because it was such quick speed. I mean, the guy headed it sort of in front of his chest, so it was one of those things. You win some, you lose some. We lost this one. I just feel like there doesn't seem to be consistency in the VAR game. It seems to be one rule for one rule for another, and it all depends on who's in the VAR box. So I don't know whether that needs to be a law change or whether it needs to be a scrappage of a VAR, because by the sounds of it, players are getting fed up with it. And managers are getting fed up with it.
Commentators are.
Yeah, fans are definitely fed up with it. If everyone's fed up with it, apart from the FA, then maybe they need to reassess their values in football.
Is it worth just employing one person who sits there week in, week out to do it? So there is that consistency. Or have a team of two who can discuss it.
I just feel like they've taken it to the nth degree and made it ridiculous.
Let the fucking referees decide.
But that's the thing. What he should have said is, yes, it did hit his hand, but it was at full. However, it was at full sprint. It wasn't intentional. He didn't reach out to grab it to like an unnatural position to stop it. It was at a sprint. So, like, so what they're essentially saying is you can't now sprint by using your arms. They've got to be glued to your sides at all times.
But then, on a counter argument to this, if you take examples where video refereeing is brought into a sport where this sort of thing happens, I've seen many times this season, like in the NFL in America, where they do video replaying on any scoring drive.
Yep.
Where they've given away, they've overturned many decisions and brought them back, even though the players are celebrating and everything's happened because of some sort of infringement or some sort of rule, like their knees touch the ground just a bit earlier or something like that, and no one complains.
No, but generally in the NFL, it is consistent, isn't it? Yeah. It's not one. It's not. You can have two very, very similar incidents, and they'll both be ruled the same. They won't be ruled one is yes and one is no.
The majority is yes.
So say it does fall, unfortunately, on referees, and I don't like to bash them because they have got a difficult job. I think everyone wants every decision to go the way of their team, and that doesn't happen. But they're not consistent. If they were consistent across the board with everything, I think people would be frustrated, yes, but happy because it's consistent. I don't feel our performance was up to par. I don't feel Sheffield United played as well as they have been playing. So I don't know whether this is the point where their season maybe has got the potential to take a dive. With just the fitness levels, because yes, they're playing very well, but they're also playing a very intense game. So if they do lose 3 or 4 on a trot, then will that fitness issues and morale go, and then you see them plummet a little bit, because it's still very close, isn't it? I think there's 9 points between 4th and bottom, or 4th and us.
It's not very
just
far,
above the relegation.
And they're not scoring those goals, are they, Sheffield? They're only getting 1, 2 at tops a game.
Yeah, and so they're grinding out results. Fair play to them.
So they're on 32.
We're on 20.
You're on 22.
Yeah, so it's 10 points between what we 16th?
19th, 20. So it's 22 points between 19th and 6th.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? So it is still close. I think. If people can, 12 points. If people can grind out a few results in sequence, it's got the potential to turn seasons.
Yeah, it's so close. Even Arsenal's still down there.
That's all I've got to say about the game. Really, we're still missing Antonio. I don't know if he's going to be back. Wilshire's still out. I feel like Fornals should be starting. But who am I? I'm not David
a
Moyes.
rumour that someone's after one of your central defenders.
It's a deal. Chelsea have put in a bid apparently, but I think we should do some fake transfer news later on.
That's why. Sorry, that's why I was just looking at my phone. Apparently, Ronaldo's coming to Arsenal.
Yeah, I think we should all talk about
Which one?
I think
the 90s Ronaldo.
I think we should all give some talk on transfer news after we've done our recap, and also a fake transfer that we can now confirm. So I'll just look on the West Ham website now and let you know who we've signed by the end of the podcast.
Who you have signed or who we are going to sign?
No, who we have signed. I guarantee there will be a signing for each of our clubs by the end of the podcast. But yeah, so that's all I've done really.
Nice, thanks, Ian. And more dreary news. We head over to Saturday's earlier game. So Crystal Palace take on Arsenal. I'm sure you've got a few items to talk about on this one, Mike.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't really think it was a dreary game. I mean, it was Crystal Palace 1, Arsenal 1. The first half, I thought we were amazing. We didn't really. Oh, I understand what you were saying earlier, or in the prediction show, that Crystal Palace did kind of
stood off, didn't they?
Yeah. We did look deadly in the first half, or for a large portion of the first half. It was a great team play for the goal. David Luiz through ball into Mesut Ozil, Ozil onto Lacazette through ball into Aubameyang slotted in bottom corner of the net. Absolutely brilliant. Defended well. Crystal Palace, I'll give them their dues. They did start coming back into the game towards the end of the first half. And we did have opportunities that we could have won the game. In the second half, we did come out of the blocks a bit slower. Crystal Palace did have more opportunities in the second half. We did concede a very unlucky goal. I thought the defenders, they did a great they had a great game at the weekend. It was just unfortunate. It was a deflection, which completely wrong-footed Bernd Leno. Ayew with the goal, looped over Leno off a deflection from David Luiz. So again, can't really fault them for that. I thought they played quite well. Did have a couple of injuries that we had to deal with Lucas Torreira, and I can't remember who the other one was. I think it might have been Pepe. Had a bit of a clash. Torreira had to come off at half time because of, from what we understand, because of the injury. Pepe was frustrating me slightly within that game because there were times I thought he was doing a bit too much and he could have put in key passes, potentially could have opened up opportunities to score, but didn't. But the as Phil correctly mentioned, there was a red card within the game. As soon as it happened, I thought it was going to be a red card. It was a bit of a naughty challenge. I don't think it was intentional, and it definitely looked a lot worse slowed down than it did at full speed. But as soon as they started taking a bit of time to make the decision, you could just tell it was only going to go one way. And yeah, off he went. So that's him lost for a few games. But it does give Martinelli a chance or a run in the team now that he's back from injury. Lacazette, I think, is a bit off form at the moment, and I think that may be potentially because of he hasn't been used as much as he was last season due to injuries, and I think he's just lack of confidence at the moment. So in any upcoming games, I think any chance to give him the ball to score, I think we need to kind of feed him to give him the confidence, because I mean he's gone close a couple of times, could have scored at the weekend against Crystal Palace, apart from a brilliant save from their keeper.
Needs to step it up.
Pepe hit the post. And to be honest, I mean, I don't think it was a bad result for us, considering how shocking that we've been away from home, B, that we were down to 10 men, and C, that we did have a couple of injuries which lost key players. So Torreira coming off, Ozil coming off. I do think that it's a fair result for us. I wasn't too disappointed. It was disappointing because we were winning, and once again we let the lead slip. But it could have been far worse because there was a clearance actually that Socrates kept off the line. Absolutely brilliant defending. Well played to him. Yeah, I can't fault the defence at all this weekend.
I feel like Lacazette has been running past players. It's just that final ball, isn't it? That he's and I feel we've hit the nail on the head. That little bit of confidence back in him, and I feel he'll be banging those because there's some chances you think last year that would have been a sitter, but this year he's sort of spooned it over the bar into the crowd. Or
just needs to take it on, go for it.
But that's the thing. I mean, there was a game, I can't remember who he scored against, but I think it might have been someone like Brighton or Burnley, or I can't remember exactly who it was, but the ball come from like an impossible angle. Yeah. He was falling down to the floor on the turn and managed to get the ball in the net.
Yeah, I remember it.
So he can score a goal like that, but at the moment, as you said,
simple ones, isn't it?
Is it overthinking it? The lack of confidence. He's just not just trying to think too hard.
I think he's banging on the door. I just think some of them have been really good saves that you think.
Yeah.
Unlucky that hasn't gone in on sort of any other day. It would have done, but yeah, I think if he knocks up one or two in the next couple of games, why the other bloke's out, Patrick's out. I'm not saying his last name, so I can't say it. Then I think he'll give him a game, a run for his money, certainly to be the first choice or first name on the team sheet.
Do you think they're going to appeal it, the red card, Mike?
No point.
No.
Absolutely no point whatsoever. As I said, when you see it at full chat, it looks like a fair challenge. But when you see it slowed down, you see he's gone right through the ankle.
I think he was just a
little bit legs off the ground.
Yeah, I think
studs up.
Just a little bit sloppy with his placement of how he went in with it. I don't think there was any malice in it. I don't think he intentionally done that. I just think it's a little bit sloppy on say at full chat, trying to get back and get the ball in. So it's just, unfortunately, it's one of those things.
I mean, I hope he's not. I think it's I hope he's not. Yeah, I hope it's not a serious injury. I hope he's back soon. But yeah, it was just a bit of a naughty challenge.
Yeah. I don't think Aubameyang's ever known for his tackling. Well, he's not normally known for his goals. So
yeah, but
it could be because he's not really in that ever. Is he often in that position where he's fighting?
Just more recently, since Arteta's come in, everyone you can see has been drilled that if you lose the ball, everyone needs to be fighting to get that ball back, and more so recently. But to be honest, it may have been tired legs at that point, and just a lazy tackle. But it is what it is. We've got to go without our top scorer for the next 3 games. So on to the next.
On to Tottenham versus Liverpool. And do you know what the best thing of this game is?
VAR.
Mourinho bowing down to Klopp.
Oh, that was great, wasn't it? That was funny. I did see that. Made me laugh lots.
It was an interesting game, I have to say. I enjoyed it. It was closer than I thought. I think Tottenham came out and they defended well. They had a new defender in. I can't pronounce his name or even remember his name, but I thought he started off really well, making some really good tackles and disrupting play.
No,
he's a youngster.
I'll tell you exactly who it was.
It's a little youngster. I think they had 3 centre backs, which was made it a bit weird for us.
Tanganga,
yes.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, he made some good decisions and things paid off and went well for him to start off with. I think the first half we were at it against them, absolutely giving them some trouble, testing them more than they tested us. I think Firmino had an outstanding game. He really should have had more than one. I think he got unlucky when one came off the post. He was terrorising the defence. He was, putting them where he wanted to and managing to twist and turn around them, and got a good goal, sort of 3/4 way through the first half. So it's quite good to see.
Finish.
Yeah,
good finish.
A good little turn. I thought the turn was exceptional to put the defender in the completely wrong footing and make the space for the goal. And then second half, I think it was a bit more flat for us, and Tottenham did come back, tried to take it to us, and unfortunately, when they haven't got any Harry Kane around, they're missing something. And yeah, Son's been out for a few games. He missed a few chances, and skied a few, put some wide, and I think there was a really, really close chance which they should have had, at least come away with a point in the second half, when he put it across goal. And unbelievable. And that's when Mourinho decided to go, I'll get on my knees in front of Klopp.
I feel like he has inherited a team that is full of a lot more rot than initially seemed. Because if you compare him to last year or even the year before, they're a different team. Same players, but totally different team, totally different mentality. And do you think that is because partly VAR has come in and ruled out some of their elbows and pushes and shirt pulls? Or do you just think that's because there's a lot of the senior players don't want to be there?
I think personally it's a combination of both. Obviously, we had, I think there's about 5 or 6 players up until recently were on contract watch. We've just seen Toby Alderweireld just committed his future to the club, but you've got the likes of Eriksen.
Well, apparently, Mourinho said that Eriksen's decided his future today, and he'll let him announce it. So I believe he's going to Inter Milan. Yeah,
I've heard that. Inter Milan for 4 years. It's a strange one.
You think his heart's not in it?
Sorry, no, I'll come back onto that because this is to do with transfers.
Yeah, but a lot of the, I think I do agree with you. A lot of the Tottenham squad just don't seem to have the heart there. I think you've got some youth players that are coming up who are giving everything because it's the beginning of their career, and then you've got this senior squad that have. Some of them are late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah, so it's getting to an old squad now, isn't it?
Who need to get paid.
Yeah,
they come in. They need that next big contract. They've been Spurs. They're not going to get it there, are they?
They've been notorious for not paying the same as what some of the other big clubs have, which you can commend in some respects, but
you're going to end up with this problem.
Yeah,
Harry Kane will be off.
I think so.
I don't know about Harry Kane because who would have him?
Man City, Real Madrid, Barcelona would probably have him. Man United would have him.
Yeah.
To name a few.
Yeah. I imagine Bayern Munich would probably throw their name in a hat, so would PSG. You know, and they're all going to offer double, triple what he's on.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally, I don't rate him. I feel like there's a lot of dirtiness in there that he gets away with because he's England number 1. There's a lot of elbows and a lot of pushes and shoves, and you think,
And he does go missing for quite long periods of the season.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, he knows where the goal is. Without a shadow of a doubt, he knows where the goal is. But he wouldn't get in some of those positions without the other sort of the tricky parts of his game that he gets away with the ref not seeing. So it's sort of half a dozen of one, half a dozen of the other, and he gets away with it because, he's England number 1, so we can't pull him up in the English league because that'd be unfair. But when you get to a tournament, he's getting blown up all the time. So I'm just glad he's out and Tammy Abraham and Danny Ings can lead the line. Come on and get Jamie Vardy back.
Danny Ings has been awesome.
He's banging them in. Do you regret letting him go?
I don't think so, no. I don't think there's space for him in the team.
I don't know. I'd rate him more than Origi.
I don't know.
I think
I would put him in the same side, but then would Danny Ings want to play
in the Champions League? Yes.
Off the bench?
I reckon he would. I think he had a bit of a torrid time of injuries while he was at Liverpool, didn't he? So
massively.
It's nice to see him scoring again. Shame we didn't buy him.
Still time.
No, he's not. He's well out of our budget. Because transfers, if we can move on to transfers, there's been a lot of fake transfer news. Fellaini was fake transfer news.
That was hilarious.
Gedison Fernandez, fake transfer news. Allegedly, we'd agreed a deal to sign him on loan for 18 months with no option to buy. And you're like, what would be the point in that? And then it come out that they'd agreed that they could talk to the club, and they were in talks with the club that there could be a potential transfer, but there was nothing ever confirmed. So that's completely fake. Who else was fake? Gabriel Barbosa. Apparently, we submitted a bid of 15 million. The board have come out and said, no, we never did that. We tried to get him on loan for the rest of the season. So I feel like the West Ham transfer policy at the moment is there's nothing to spend unless you sell players, because now we're trying to offload Yarmolenko apparently, but only on loan. So why not keep him? If you're only going to loan him out with no option to buy, keep him in the squad. Don't bother.
I'll just sell him.
But I can confirm, it has just been announced on the West Ham transfers, or on the WestHamUnited.com, whatever their website is, that David Moyes has brought in a renowned goalscorer that he worked with for a couple of years at Everton in Yakubu. He's now going to be our number one. And he's going to do a lot better than everyone else in the squad because he's an absolute monster. You laugh, it's true. He waits till he bangs in 8 against Everton.
Oh, in that case.
That's the sort of transfer I want to hear about.
So
or
Mike,
bring back Dean
what
Ashton.
Sort of, transfer would you like to hear about going to Arsenal?
He's jealous of Yakubu.
I just can't compete.
In for 3 games to replace Ubangi Man.
Ubangi Mum.
I gave it a go. It didn't work.
To be honest, I'm not too sure about that whole transfer thing.
There's not been a lot.
No, I mean I've seen this linked with is it Jerome Boateng from Bayern München?
Oh yeah, defender.
Yeah, but I mean he's 31 years old. I'm not sure if it's a potential loan deal or a buy, but I mean we only really need someone because we've lost Callum Chambers.
Yep.
Just recently. We potentially losing Mustafi in this transfer window. We also have
got a lot of injuries.
Excuse me. Yes,
Tierney.
we have Tierney's injured. Bellerin's still on the way back. So we do need some defence cover, but I mean we've got the likes of Saliba coming in at the end of this season.
Yep.
Once these people do get back from injury, happy days. I mean, just imagine that. Tierney, Bellerin, Pepe, Aubameyang and Lacazette. Even if we get it towards the end of the season, that'd be wicked. I think if those lot are fit come the latter stages of the Europa League, if we get there, we could do some damage with that lineup. Xhaka, Torreira. I think if we can convince Xhaka to stay as well, I think he's been brilliant recently under Arteta. Torreira being played in the correct position has been brilliant. I don't know. The only things I'm a bit concerned about is Aubameyang and Lacazette coming towards the end of their contracts. We need to get them sorted out beforehand, and if we don't, then we need to get some players in to replace. I don't know who's available or what's available.
I feel like you may try and get Wilfred Zaha in the summer.
Been trying for him for a while, haven't you? They've been linked for a while.
That would be my number one. I think he's matured since he went to Manchester United, and I feel like he's the sort of player who could make the difference in that team.
I mean, he's good. I mean, we didn't. I think Ainsley Maitland-Niles had an amazing game against him at the weekend. He shut him out completely. There wasn't really much that Zaha offered. But is that the way to go? That Aubameyang goes and then bring in Zaha? It could be a good shout.
I mean, he's more natural on the left, isn't he? He can play through the middle, which is why I feel it makes that difference to you. The only thing I would say about it is going to cost a small fortune because Crystal Palace are not going to want to let him go.
Oh, no.
But if you're going to lose Ubangyang, is that closer?
Yeah.
Then
Aubameyang.
Aubameyang. There you go.
Hey,
Then-
that's it. Go on.
Then,
Aubameyang.
but it'd be a worthwhile investment because, all right, he might have a year on his contract, but you're still going to get 70 million for him, aren't you? I can't see you letting him go for any less. When you look at
Is that his age is a factor as well? He's what 30, 31 years old.
yeah, but I still think Real Madrid would pay for the teeth to get him.
Wait
Yeah,
and
they've
see.
got the money for it, and to be fair, 80 million is overpriced for him.
But it's I feel like that would work, and given I mean at Crystal Palace, yes, there are a few players. Andros Townsend can play. Max Meyer on his day can play, but goes missing a lot. But other than that, there's not a great
McCarthy?
no. But in terms of like, you look at him and go, that's a good footballer. You know that's it. Someone who's got skill and makes it look simple. There's not an abundance. They work hard and they're organised and they're solid. But I think at Arsenal you've got the likes of Ozil, Lacazette, Pepe, Guendouzi, Torreira, Xhaka, who have got that about them that can and more some than others on a regular basis make it look simple. And you give him that little license to roam and run at defenders. I've just disappeared off of the screen, but that's fine. But yeah,
I can still see you.
yeah. But if you get that, then they will get better. No, that doesn't make. Does that make sense? Like I feel he will shine more if he's got that license to roam and those players around him to feed him those balls
Yeah.
and to run in and really make an impact rather than everything goes through him and once his man marks out the game, there's not much else going on. If you've got 4 players to man mark, and that gives him that gap to get through and to win. So that's my 2 pence worth.
Do you want some good news?
West Ham have also just signed Paul Konchesky at left back. Brought him back for a second run.
Aston Villa have got Pepe Reina.
They have.
Oh,
I
did
said
see
this. I see that, and it frustrated the hell out of me because why didn't we go in for him? It's only on loan, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why didn't we try and get him?
Wants to go to a club of ambition. Oh,
Them's fighting words. There was a poll. There was a poll actually on Twitter for West Ham fans.
Stanislas.
He come from our academy, mate. We let him go. But no, there's a poll on Twitter for West Ham fans. Would we rather get relegated and win the FA Cup, or stay up and just like go out against West Brom? It was 50-50.
What?
Which I'll have a look again in a bit, but I reckon it'll go FA Cup. We win the FA Cup. It's sort of trophy. It's history, isn't it? And I think they will. The owners may think twice about, right, we need to get out now before we plummet. Because I feel if we do get relegated, it's going to be a long, long way down.
To be honest, mate, even if you do drop, I don't see you staying down there. I know the Championship's a difficult division to get promoted in, but I don't think it would be an issue for you guys if you went down. I can't see you going down. I can't see you going down.
I think it could. It depends. The next 2 or 3 games will be pivotal.
Yeah, if we lose the next couple, the confidence will go again because we had that little manager, woohoo, and then it's like and he's not being given anything to embrace a squad with players that he wants, which to some respects you would think. I mean, people were moaning about Fellaini, but he is in the middle. He does like a tackle. You can put him up front. He will defend. Moyes knows him, so he knows he's got the right work ethic for him. And what he brings to the team. It's not like he's unheard of. Yes, he's older now than what he was, but I feel like he would have added, but we can't bring him in. We can't bring in another striker. We're struggling to get a second keeper, which is majorly concerning considering your first team keeper's injured, and the ones we have got are not Premier League level. Surely, as a business concern, they would go out and go, right, we've got to fork out a lot to get someone in. I mean, Fabianski's, what, 33, 34 now? He's getting toward the end of his
Keeper's gone to 40, 41, 42 nowadays.
Yeah, but if this hip injury keeps flaring up, it's going to shorten his career quite dramatically, isn't it? He's already had surgery on it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd love to see him being at the same level as he is until he's 40, but you've got to plan for the future. That's best case scenario, isn't it? I mean, you look at the history of West Ham players; they all get injured. They don't early retirements, blah de blah de blah. Why not plan for the future and go, right, we're going to go all out and get him now? Give him half a season to integrate before you go, right, you're going to start fighting for the first team seat. You know?
You're going in too cheaply for him, though.
We're going with loan moves. Pointless. No one wants a loan move. Not in January. No. Not from a championship club where they go, we play twice as many games as you do. And if our keeper gets injured, we need that because he's our second keeper and he's of a decent quality for the championship.
Yeah. You need someone who got hands who can save.
Exactly. We'll give him Roberto. I don't think they'll want them. But we can always go, we'll
do a swap.
Part exchange. We'll give you Roberto and also £15 million. And we'll just get nothing in return. That's the sort of deal Karen Brady would make.
Mike, I'm actually reading a couple of things here about Arsenal doing a swap with Lacazette for Lamar.
I can't see it.
No. Be a bit far fetched.
Yeah.
Also, I'm back.
I would say that's up there with again Ozil for Ramsey.
God, no, get out. That ain't happening.
Exactly. That's my point.
So
yeah.
with fake transfer news in mind though, who would you sign? Who would you like to get them to announce? If you could go out and get one player, who would make the difference?
I honestly, I have no idea.
Or is there 11 players that would make a difference?
That's the whole team. Yeah, I'll just have the Leicester team, thanks.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea if we could sign one player. I'll tell you who I would sign. I would sign Aaron Ramsey back, 100%.
Yep, fair enough. Bill, would you add anyone into the team?
I would be tempted to swap out Henderson for Kevin De Bruyne.
I don't think you get the same work ethic.
I think it'd be instilled by the coach, or even better, is have Jordan Sancho as a backup.
Yeah, I don't think that was the whole reason he went abroad, because he wanted first team football.
Yep.
He ain't gonna come back to Liverpool to sit on the bench.
Do you know who I would really like us West Ham to go and sign? In all honesty, Reece James from Chelsea, the right back.
Yeah, I think he's a good player.
He was good.
He's a baller, but also we're in desperate need for a right back.
Isn't he only about 4'2" though?
No, that was Lamperty.
Oh, okay.
He's quick. He come on, he's like, well, as a ball boy, come on, and then he's like, oh my god, Usain Bolt.
Who was the guy that Frank Lampard changed against us?
That was Lamperty.
Yeah, it was him. Yeah, I'd take him. He was good.
Yeah.
Ian, on Zabaleta,
yes.
Is it me or does he look much older than 34? I saw him at the weekend. I thought, you look like a 55.
So
did, Iron Robin?
Yeah.
Robin
but do you not think that
90 and he was only about 26.
But do you not think all footballers, when they're playing, they're getting towards the end of their careers, they all look old? Like, I mean, I'm 27. I'm the same age as Wilfred Zaha. He does look younger than me, but that's probably the only footballer who does. Jesse Lingard's the same age. I would have put him as older than me.
Me and Mike are both 34.
Paul Pogba.
And Zabaleta, he looks 10 years older than us at least.
Yeah, but it's crazy. But Steven Gerrard, when he retired, didn't look 32 or whatever he was.
Looked like 42.
Yeah. And
I think he looks younger now as a manager.
He does, yeah, he does. But I think that's the pressure of training every day and being that physical all the time. It's got to take its toll, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree.
Tim Howard, I don't think looked old, but he did have upside down head.
Yes, he did.
So I think that takes age off you. That's what I'm going for anyway.
Same.
Blimey. Yeah, no, Reece James, I think, would be a quality signing for us. I don't
have the
think
money?
No, of course we wouldn't.
I'll tell you one player I'm looking to see develop over the next couple of years. What's his name? Signed for Man United, the young lad, winger.
James?
Yeah,
Daniel
what's
James.
his first name? Daniel James. I know he's got a bit about him at the moment where he does tend to go down far too easy.
Yes.
But I reckon he's a young lad.
If he cuts that out of his game, then I think a lot of fans would be behind him regardless. A lot of neutrals.
I think he's going to be a knockout player in a couple of years.
Shame he's Welsh.
I tell you what, the England team in a few years is going to be epic. With the amount of youth we've got. And
We say that every year.
But I'm talking about the youth we've got. It's insane.
Yeah,
I mean, we've got.
Our youth's always been good. We've just never utilised it.
Yeah.
We've
got to now, though.
I think it's going to be good for the Premier League. And I don't want this to come across as sounding potentially racist, but it is nice to see more English lads coming through within the bigger teams.
But you say that Germany, the rules in Germany, you can have, I think it's 6 foreign registered players. And look how like their youth teams, when they was winning the World Cups and stuff, they went back to back, didn't they? Was just phenomenal. But that's because the youth had to be played in Germany to make up football teams. You couldn't go, right, we're going to sign in 11 new players who are not from the country. It doesn't work.
But how many of those German teams were from other countries as youths and brought in to play for Germany? If you look at how many different nationalities the youths were, they weren't all German. They were German, Turkish, German, Polish, German.
But they had to be eligible. They had to be eligible to play for Germany, didn't they? So they might have a dual nationalities, but they all had to be eligible to play for Germany. Which so I think you're right. Younger players coming through, and I think, as I said a couple of weeks ago, Lampard has got a very difficult job now. Now that the transfer ban is over, does he go out and sign players, or does he continue to work with the players that he's got and add to it in the summer with maybe 1 or 2? Rather than go, right, we're going to go out and buy 6 players, and they're all going to go straight in the first team.
How to destroy some of those kids.
Exactly. But if he's got very good man management, then he'll bring in 1 or 2 to compete. Like maybe get rid of a couple of strikers because Giroud being linked away.
Well, this was another thing. This was something I wanted to touch on. Was I did say that Giroud, I think, had been linked with Inter Milan on a 3.5 or 4 year deal. That's going to take him up to he's like 55.
Impacts, haven't they? In fairness, I don't know why we haven't tried. Again, another one we haven't tried to sign. Batshuayi, try and get him on loan. If you're trying to get loan players, go right. We'll pay 70% of their wages. Yeah. I'm sure Chelsea would go for that rather than them sitting in the reserves. They're not playing.
I'm really surprised yet, guys, that it's 13 days, 14 days through the month, halfway through pretty much, and there's not been much transfer.
Well, I think you're the only.
The team's desperate.
You served Minamino, didn't you? But that was before the transfer window opened.
Yeah, he joined us on the 1st, and we've got rid of a few guys on loan. Yeah. But we don't really need to add. But I'm just surprised at the lack of movement from everyone.
Do you think you've got Gedison Fernandes, haven't you, from Benfica, who has been linked with a lot of players? Seems like he's going to Spurs now. Do you think, because he was highly touted in the summer, do you think he's going to be able to But do you think that Manchester United have tried to sign the wrong one? Because apparently they look close to signing someone for 70 million called Fernandes, who's like 31. So I think they've got the wrong one.
Scout reports have gone wrong.
Well, it's the same name. It's spelled. It's just spelled. I think there's a couple of letters different in it. But it's both Fernandez's.
Error in translation.
Edward Woodward for you. Ha ha ha. At least West Ham haven't got him.
Mike, do you think Arsenal will still go for Ake?
I didn't even know we were linked with him.
I think if he goes anywhere, we go back to Chelsea.
It's been Chelsea and Arsenal, I think, being the two teams linked.
Chelsea got a buyback clause in his contract.
Yeah.
I think if he goes anywhere, that's where we'll go because the players who are coming through, he knows.
Then no.
That's my opinion. I might be wrong.
But Chelsea don't really need defenders, do they?
I reckon if they got rid of Christensen, they'd have him. But I think you've got to look at who they've got in because I think what they don't want to do is go, right, we've got 4 spaces in defence. We've got 13 defenders. Because then you've got a lot of players who are unhappy every week.
Yeah, and then it would play the heart out.
Yeah. But I reckon if they got rid of maybe Christensen and like some of the other like fringe players, then maybe they might go in for him. Because 40 million for him, I think, is a bargain. Especially in like today's market.
You're a bargain.
I am a bargain, mate. I will play for any Premier League football team for £300 a week.
Is that all?
That's all. I want a goal bonus though, and a bonus for headers. Every header I win.
And that's £300 a week after tax.
No, before tax. but say I want £100 a header, and £200 a goal.
Are you a oosh?
Mate, Andy Carroll's got nothing on my aerial ability, and I haven't got a coke habit. So, just saying, bargain. Hit me up. Twitter is above me. I will come play. I'll do a trial for 3 weeks for free. You know, Premier League clubs only though. Well, actually no, Championship clubs. If Championship clubs, I'll play for, but a little bit more.
Right, so we've got to see this though. Should we put a challenge out and see Ian's aerial ability on video?
You want?
I'm up for it.
Let's do it.
I've got to have service, so I can't like have a shitty ball in and go, oh, he hasn't scored a header. No, it was on the floor.
So what we'll do, I've just sussed it. Right, so we'll put Peter Cech in goal.
Yep.
I'll put the crosses in.
Really?
Into Andy Carroll.
Yeah. You couldn't deliver a parcel.
Couldn't deliver a parcel. Who would you be?
I'll be careful, mate. I've got videos of your footballing ability. Just wind your neck in.
Yeah, no, we can do that.
I'm up for it.
Let's do
All right, no, I'll tell you what then. We'll do that. We'll do a crossing challenge into a header challenge so you can get more pinpoint.
All right.
Let's do it.
What's that? Best out of 5 decent crosses? Like penalties. You get 5 attempts. Yeah. All right.
Let's do it. Well, the video will come. Watch out, guys.
If you haven't already, subscribe. Turn on the notification bell.
Hit like.
Check out our Twitters.
And comment below.
And check out everything else on the channel. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. Tell us what you want to see more of. And then...
we'll do it.
And then... we'll do it.
Yeah. Check out the prediction show.
The prediction show.
See what we actually thought about the weekend's games that are coming up. And also the special edition this week.
There is. Fighting talk.
Who's talking big? Who's talking small?
Well, I can tell you now that all that happened was Phil called out Mike for having upside down head. And Mike headbutted him through his monitor. It was quite impressive to see. I'd go and watch it because, like, I've never seen that sort of stuff before. But it was amazing.
Not clickbait
so
at all.
true.
Hey, it weren't clickbait. It was just full on.
I need to do that pack.
He headbutted him so hard that he blurred Phil's background. That's how hard he headbutted him. Through a screen as well.
Impressive.
Ready.
Ah. Brilliant.
Have that, you wee bastard.
Brilliant.
So everyone, we have had the chap in yellow today, who has been
Oh, Mike.
I'm here.
in claret and blue, supporting the lovely West Ham.
I'm here, but I'm actually supporting Burnley or Aston Villa or whoever does better than
Sean
us
Dyche.
every week. Sean Dyche.
Sean Dyche.
I like Sean Dyche.
And I have been Phil. Thank you everyone for watching. We'll
Thanks very
catch you
much,
soon.
guys.
He used to be a Man City supporter. See ya. Thanks for watching. Click like and subscribe. Share it everywhere. Check out one of our other videos. It'll be somewhere around here. Cool.